Hello scrappers and planet lovers, Tin Man here with another video. So I've recently had a number of questions from viewers about circuit boards, depopulating circuit boards, and one question in particular from a viewer about the circuit board that I recently acquired from a computer monitor, if I could do a video showing them how to depopulate this. So here it is, I'm happy to do so, and I will include in my description the full breakdown link to that video, so if you're interested, go check that out. Great source of scrappable material. And circuit boards are also an excellent source of scrap. They are in all appliances and electronics, and unfortunately, if I was to bring this in as is, I am only going to make electronic weight priced, or e-waste price, if you will. And that's going only for about 5 cents a pound. So it's better than nothing, and it's better than going into the landfill. This thing weighs 4 pounds, so I'd get 20 cents for this. However, looking at this, it is loaded with great scrappable material. There is a lot of aluminum on here, there is copper, there is some relay boxes that contain not only copper, but some silver. If you were into micro scrapping, there are different ceramic capacitors on here, MLCCs, as well as other items that can contain palladium and other great precious metals. So very easy to take apart. Gonna do that right now. I do have a scale right here. Gonna separate the items, weigh them separate to see what type of profit I can make. And remember, this is only a small circuit board, so the profit may not seem like a lot given just the size of this one, but given the amount of circuit boards you will find, it does add up tremendously. These aluminum heat sinks you see right here, I actually have a bag off to the side that I have been accumulating, and I have 81 pounds worth of just heat sinks from various appliances and electronics. So it does add up, and some of them are, as you can see, a different size. Some are big, some are small, but these right here, there are a couple styles of aluminum. If I put a magnet to these, you can see they are non-magnetic. That's non-magnetic. So there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 aluminum heat sinks on here that are going to be classified as what we call extrusion. It's any type of aluminum that looks like it's been put through a mold or a press. And this right here is actually going for 98 cents a pound. There is other parts of aluminum on here. I have taken one off. You can see it is non-magnetic. There's another one right here that's also aluminum. This is going to be clean aluminum. So this is actually going for 55 cents a pound. It does have a piece of tin on it that's connected, so you do have to remove that. But this tin right here is actually also going to be worth more than e-waste price. It's going to give me 8 cents a pound. So just going to remove the last screw here and see what type of items I can get. And I will, if I don't get to the entire thing with weights, I will include in my comment section the full breakdown and the breakdown of prices. So here's some tin. This again going for 8 cents a pound. And I do also save up my screws. I have, for the sake of time, taken apart or removed some of the screws on these aluminum heat sinks. There they are. I put them into a container. I will further put them into a nice tin can. Gonna get me my 8 cents a pound for this. So it all adds up for sure. So this aluminum heat sink, just gonna pull it off now that it is disconnected from that screw. You do have right here a couple pins. If I put a magnet to that, you can see that there it does stick. So in order to get clean aluminum, I do have to remove those pins. So just gonna take it, fold it backwards, or towards the camera, if you will. So some more tin. Take this one right here, another one. And I always use a pair of side cutters. Very easy to do. There it is. So all of the tin is removed. And this is now going to give me clean aluminum. I do have a small piece of, I guess, styrofoam that is connected. A little bit of glue on there, but I will remove that. But again, some 50 cents for this. This is a nice weight too. So just gonna put it off into a container right there. And there is, no method as to where I'm going to start. I'm going to just actually start pulling items off. So I have already removed the screws off this aluminum heat sink. There it is. Again, it's going to have different pins. So this one, a little bit different style. Just going to pull it, again, upwards or outwards away from me. There it is. I do want to make sure I have safety glasses on just so it doesn't spring back at me. But Nice, beautiful piece of extrusion. Again, no magnetic attraction because I will be downgraded. But this right here, 98 cents a pound for this. This is going to be clean extrusion. There is a piece, just put it in this container here. There is a piece actually that is a different category. Even though it is a heat sink, this one right there is black. So that is classified as painted extrusion. It's going for 2 cents more. So this is actually $1 a pound. Not sure why the painted is worth more. You know, I would think clean is going to be worth more, but no matter. I do separate them. They are aluminum and they do add up. But the other thing too is once I start removing the screws, I will start just pulling off these heat sinks. Again, very simple to do. Just pulling them off, checking to make sure there's pins. Sometimes the pins are inside of it like that. And these two are easy to remove. Just gonna take the side cutter again. Sometimes you will have to open up the fin a little bit just to kind of relieve the pressure. It can be tightly squeezed inside of that. So you do want to make sure that you just kind of open it. Very easy to do. Aluminum is easy to bend, but just, you can hear that. There it is. So taking out that magnetic pin, put it into my tin, okay? I will get this one out as well. So sometimes I put it into my vise, but you know, you gotta make sure that you clean this in order to get clean price. You know, scrap yards will be picky. They will downgrade you. Okay, so there it is, taking out that pin. You can hear it squeaking right now. There it is, there it is. It's all out now. There's my pin. So no longer magnetic attraction. Put that in the bucket. Grabbing this one now. Okay, and this one here, if you can see, there is the screws on it, and I did purposely want to leave those screws on it just to show you, if you do not remove the screws, it does make it harder to take off, and it will break as well, the circuit board. And the nice thing about these circuit boards is after I am done depopulating them, I can still bring the rest of it in. I try not to mangle it as much as possible, but even if it is cut open, there's holes in it, the scrapyard will still take the rest of it, and I will still get e-waste price. So this is going to be 100% scrappable. Okay, so there's my last screw. Now I'm just going to grab it, pull it. There it is. And sometimes you do also have to check on the bottom. There can be, from time to time, screws on the bottom attaching it. This one did not have that. But again, another great aluminum heat sink. Okay, already starting to build up a nice pile here. Gonna get this little one here. There it is. So again, there's my pins that have the two sides in it. And I'm not gonna take them out for this video just to speed up the process. I'll do that later. Okay, there's another one right there. Remove the last screw. And I love aluminum heat sinks. As I mentioned, great price, 98 cents a pound for that. 5 of them right there. I also have connected to these another great item. These always have a prong on them that you can see like that. And these are actually going to be number 2 copper. I'm actually just going to put them in a container. And you can see there are different sizes. Here's a nice big one right here. Sometimes you will see a metallic look. This one here is completely plastic. Some of them like this, you can see there is another one. These are all number 2 copper. Here's another one. And I just want to quickly show you a couple of those. Sorry, I'm doing a different angle on this computer or camera just to show a better close-up. This one right here, as you can see, does not reveal any copper look to it. But if I scratch this, there you go, put it up to the camera, you can see that is copper. And I have had some of my viewers mention that their scrap yards will not take these. I will put them into a container. I have never had problem. Copper right now, number 2 copper, which these will be, is currently going for $4.37 a pound in London, Ontario, so Canadian prices. And I have had some viewers say that their scrapyard thinks there's too much plastic on this and they will not buy them. Do not be discouraged if one scrapyard says no. That's why I always keep them in a container. It's very easy to take them to another yard or threaten to take them to another yard. Sometimes that will change their mind. But there are buyers for this, especially with the foreseen future of copper exploding in price. It continues to be our scrapper's gold, and there is still a huge market for copper. So you will get a buyer for sure. I have a nice big container of these already, 10 pounds and growing, so it does not take a lot of them to build up weight. If you are that type of person that is getting that pressure or the nose from the scrapyards, another option you could do is separate them. The ones like this that you see the metallic look to them, you can separate these, put them together, put the ones that are completely plastic in another container. That might be a little bit easier, especially at that scrapyard if they continue to refuse them entirely. If you have them like that and there is less plastic, they may take these ones. But these ones, don't throw them out and you will find a buyer. So I will throw them all together because for me, my scrapyard has never said anything. So that is great. And there are tons of them on here that I can find. All of these, they are sometimes not even connected to the heat sink. So there are different sizes for sure. There's another one right on the edge here. Here's a nice one. This one you can actually see right there, the copper look to it. So they all add up. Just gonna cut off the pins right there. Beautiful. Those pins, if I take a magnet to those, I did have a question from someone, what are the pins made of? They are not, there is a little bit of copper in there. So these are connected with copper as well. So I try to get as much of it as I can, but there is a little bit of soldering towards the bottom as well. And sometimes it is hard to get right down to the circuit board. So I try and leave as much of the pins on there as I can, but sometimes it's not completely possible to get all of it. Okay, I also, once I'm done that, I will have a full breakdown as I mentioned. There is also a small heat sink here. This one, gonna take that off right now. Gonna focus on a little bit of copper. So just gonna pull that off. Okay, there it is right there. And what's interesting about this one right here, scratch it. This is non-magnetic. And you can see that is actually copper right there. This is gonna give me actually number 1 copper, so about 10 cents more than number 2 or 15 cents more. So for this experiment, I am just gonna put it right in that container. But some of your heat sinks, you do wanna be careful. Here is another heat sink that has the metallic look to it. But if I put a magnet to it, it is magnetic. So that is a tin one. Not sure its function, especially off on its own, but it does have right there the number 2 prong, copper prong that's attached to it. So I am gonna remove that. As well, I am gonna remove the tin because again, I'm gonna get 8 cents a pound for that tin instead of 5 cents for the electronic weight price. So there's my container right there of tin. Just gonna move that a little bit. So tin right there. Okay, and lots of these little guys, prongs as mentioned, 10 pounds. Sounds like a lot, especially given the size of these, but given the amount of these on every circuit board, they quickly add up. So last one I want to get is this small painted piece of extrusion, this little heat sink. And for this experiment, just taking the screw off, I am going to just throw it right into my clean extrusion pile. This is not going to weigh a lot on its own. And the likelihood of getting painted extrusion, it does depend on the type of appliance you have. Some appliances, especially my subwoofers, or sorry, my old VCRs or stereo systems, some of them will have a huge metallic e-waste or circuit board heat sink. Some of them will have a painted one, so it all depends on the style, the year it was made, or where it was manufactured. But again, it's all aluminum here. Do remove the prongs. Okay. I also have some really nice copper spool here. Just gonna cut that off. A lot of times your copper will come in forms of transformers. Look at these beautiful transformers you see here that have some ticker tape on it. And I will look inside of these to see if I can see spools of copper. I will break these off. These are at a scrapyard, their own category. Transformers right now going for about 15 to 20 cents a pound. But there is a nice spool of copper in this one, as well as this one, and a small little piece of copper tape, if you will. I do pull that off as well and put it into my number 2 because it is going to have some soldering. But you are also going to find small spools like this as well. On the other side, you can see a nice spool here. This is all going to be number 2 copper, as well as that little copper spool right there. I call those copper donuts. Find them all over circuit boards. I break them off, and I will break it with a hammer because there is a metallic ring that copper winds around. But all number 2 copper, again, going for $4.37 a pound. Okay, these ones right here, again, gonna get as much copper as I can. These I am actually just gonna hit with a hammer, open it up, unwind it. But look at that beautiful copper spool, as well as this one. All I do for this one is I will actually just crimp the top or cut off the top. It is magnetic, okay? So I do actually throw this right into my tin as well. I think it's ferrite, but throw it in my tin, and look at that. Just unfolds. Look at that beautiful copper spool there. Doesn't look like a lot, but it does add up tremendously as number 2. I have bags of this ready to go. So all of this wire here, copper motor wire, transformer wire, all of that stuff is going to be number 2. This, even though it looks nice, shiny, new, it's going to be classified as number 2 because its thickness. It is not thicker than 16 gauge. So all of this number 2, but great price, $4.37 a pound, as well as this. The rest of this casing, there is, as I said, a metallic and magnetic shell on this, sorry. I'm going to throw that into my tin. It too is ferrite. This copper donut, again, there it is. I just break it off with a hammer. The inside of that's going to be tin. Okay. I have as well right here a couple relay boxes, and I'm just going to show one of these. All I'm going to do is just go one, pop it off. Okay. There is a nice spool, and I quickly did that. I try to save those in their case, but there is a nice spool of copper. And what's interesting about these is once I take off that piece inside of that relay box right there, it's going to have 2 prongs. As you can see, these are copper, but if I just fold them back, they're going to have 2 dots on them there, you can see, and there is a small smudge on that dot there. That is actually silver, so I do cut these off. I'll put these into a vial for silver recovery, but the rest of this is going to be copper. Some people do sell relay boxes online, and I try to, if I can take them off without damaging them. Easy way to do that, actually, I do have to remove a couple items, but if I put a flathead screwdriver under it and just give it a little tap with a hammer, sometimes, there it is, it just pops off, you can see. So this is undamaged. The case is not cracked off. Just a little bit of... No, actually, I took the whole thing, so I could actually resell this. People are looking for parts, especially something in this age. Computer monitors, they've gone away with the old style, so people are looking for parts to older items. So I could find a buyer online, but if not, I still can get the copper out of there, as well as the copper from in here, and the silver recovery. Okay, as I mentioned, the transformers, there is actually, sorry, going back to relay boxes, I have 2, 3 more right here. So I've got a number of them. I have 1, 2, 3, 4 transformers that I can take off of here. As well, all of these blue guys right here, these are actually going to be classified as ceramic capacitors. There is silver inside of these, as well as these little guys right here. I do have right here a small set ready to go. I've been cutting these off already, and these can have some silver inside of them. And I do have a full breakdown of separating my items in my video on depopulating boards, and I will include the link to that in my description. But look at just from the style of these, how many of these little attachment number 2 prongs are on here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 up there. 8 going on the side. So a lot of those for sure. Again, here is a nicer size example. That orange is a ceramic capacitor. All of these capacitors here that look like batteries, I leave these on here. There is some that are this size. I have tried to bring them in separately. They are encased with aluminum, but the scrap yards actually don't have a category for these as is. They weigh next to nothing. And I do actually have a video on an experiment to see how many of them I have to build up weight. So again, if you're interested, go check that video out. Some people do take everything off. And I do also have right here, you do have to look carefully on your circuit boards. This black case you see right here blended in, as well as this one. There's 2 of them right here. If I take one of those off, even though it blends in with my capacitors, what's interesting about these is it is actually going to be a spool of copper. So just going to show you, there it is. It has prongs on it. Just going to break it with a hammer just quickly on my vise here. I'll turn my camera so you can see it. So there's my piece. Just gonna, it doesn't take a lot. I'm just trying to break the plastic handle off. But what's interesting about this, there's the casing that you see. Now watch this. Inside of here is another spool of copper. So sometimes your copper is going to be hidden amongst your items, so you do have to look carefully. So again, there is another one right there, and I will unfold this, include it in my little basket there to show you full weights. Here are 2 more magnetic heat sinks. Looking further on here, there is also right there, you can see a couple IC chips right there. People do buy these. I have a small container started right there. So these things, this is a couple of these bigger ones here are from a different circuit board, but just to show you the different size of them. People will buy these as well online. There is a little bit of precious metal recovery on here, I believe. So people do buy them. Some people do leave them on here. It does depend on the type of scrapper you are. But the rest of this board, again, I am leaving this on. I am going to get all of these blue ceramic capacitors off. Going to get all of these pins. Going to open up these transformers. Again, even I am going to put in the comment section just the full weight of these transformers whole. Again, 15 to 20 cents a pound for these unbroken, but there is a little bit of copper inside of them, and I will include that. There are also a couple side circuit boards you see here. This one right here has, you can see an IC chip in there, and I am going to break that off and get that little piece. Looking on the back, there isn't anything on the back, but that is the breakdown of this. As I said, going to put all of my weights just to show you for this, just to give you one example from this. So again, these are going for 98 cents a pound. So I said the whole board was worth 20 cents as is. So just from those little circuit boards there and that one, I have 7 ounces right there. So almost half an ounce. So just right there alone, almost 50 cents for just that aluminum. So more than the board untouched. Again, I have a huge bag of it. Did not take a lot to add up weight. Did not take me a lot of time to take those off. And I still have all of my copper prongs to go through. I have my tin to separate as well. My transformers that I'm going to look at too. So just a quick video. The number 2 spool again also adds up. But wanted to show you how to maximize your profit very easily. Show that viewer just some of the goodies that I have on here. Don't have enough time to break everything off of here as well. I am sweating pretty good, so do want to get changed. But hopefully you enjoyed that. Again, circuit boards, excellent place to get scrap metal. Way more profitable taking the time to separate those goodies than bringing it in whole. And remember, once I'm finished with this, I'm still going to get electronic weight price for the remainder of this circuit board. So 0 garbage here, 100% scrappable. but highly profitable taking those aluminum and copper items and other metals off of there. So hope you enjoyed that. Please continue asking away the questions. I look forward to answering them as best I can. Prices have changed a little bit, but aluminum is still at 98 cents. And tin has gone down a little bit, but 8 cents a pound. I'm still not going to complain with that price because tin as well does not take a lot to build up weight. And, you know, all of these items, being able to divert them from the landfill. So hope you enjoyed that. Please comment down below, like, share, subscribe, and I'll catch you on the next one. Tin Man out.